Welcome back, everybody, to your stimulus update. Today on this episode, I need to share with you a little bit of information about what's going on with the resolution right now with the Postal Service and how that resolution that's being taken up by the House of Representatives could impact your stimulus payment and more stimulus help in the future. Once again, everybody, welcome back to your stimulus update for today, Saturday, August 22nd. So what's happening right now at the beckoning of Nancy Pelosi and Democrat leaders of the House of Representatives is they are currently voting on a Postal Service resolution. This resolution is in part due to the election that is coming up in November. Actually, not in part, completely due to the election that's coming up in November. If there was no election coming up in November and they weren't doing the mail-in voting, they would not be voting on a Postal Service resolution right now. But what is this resolution supposed to do? Basically, it's supposed to bolster the Postal Service, make sure that they're not making too many changes right now, especially at a time where they want the Postal Service to be as ready as possible for these mail-in ballots. And they look at the Postal Service right now as underfunded and making too many changes, and it could cause chaos in November. And we know in the United States of America, whenever the House of Representatives votes on something, it doesn't just get passed in entirety, it must then go to the Senate because we have a bicameral legislation. We have two houses, and both houses must pass any bill. And so if this goes to the Senate, I see the Republicans, which are the majority leaders in the Senate right now, going one of two different directions. And I hope that they go the one direction that I'm going to tell you about. Either they might just vote this thing no, because Republicans are going to look at the Postal Service right now. And the facts are this: the Postal Service has $15 billion on hand. Okay. They're not strapped for money. Yes, they do lose money, but they have plenty of money because they're federally funded. So they have $15 billion on hand. And they also, through the CARES Act, which was passed a few months ago, they have an additional $10 billion in a line of credit. So the Postal Service is not to do without any money right now. They have plenty of money on hand. And the Postmaster General is making some changes right now, eliminating some boxes where some mail can go through, but that's a very normal thing. One way to think about this is during President Obama's administration, over 10,000 different postal locations where you could drop off mail were eliminated. This is normal. It's a normal thing that businesses is now. Yes, it's a service. Nancy Pelosi said it's a service, but a service is also a business. The Postal Service is in to actually make money too. It needs to thrive. So if there's a problem where you're wasting money, you're having drop-off locations that are wasting money for you, good postmaster generals will change those things up. It's just normal. If you talk to anybody who's been in the Postal Service, ask them. If they've been in there for a few decades, they will tell you the Postal Service has always been like this. It is generally inefficient. There's good people who work there, but they've done their own studies. The Post and news agencies have done studies too. 3 to 4% of all mail-out letters in one way or another are either lost, they're not on time, or they have a different problem. 3 to 4%. When you're talking about an election through mail-in voting, 3 to 4% is massive. There is nothing you're going to be able to do to make sure that the Postal Service is going to get 100 million mail-in ballots correct. So here's my advice to you. If you want your vote to count in November, do not mail it in. If you can, by any means, make your way to a location, wear a mask, social distance, put your vote in there, watch it go into the machine, and make sure your vote counts. I would not ever trust my vote to filling it out on a piece of paper that has been just mailed out to 150 million people and then throw that into the Postal Service, which is notorious for not being able to handle things in a good way. And we could have a presidential election day where we're getting votes in and it looks like one person is in the lead, and then we're going to have to wait months and months and months and months and months for all of those election ballots by mail to be counted. And then after they're all counted, there's going to be discrepancies all over the place. It could be an utter disaster. But the Democrats right now see it as necessity to bolster it up so that it could be done in the best possible way. Okay, that's fine. Let's compromise. And this is where we get to the stimulus news. The Republicans in the Senate, they can go one of two directions. Either one, they can vote no because they look at it and they go, this is ridiculous to vote yes on this. How about we give more money to police departments, which are actually being defunded right now? But instead of voting no, there is a second route that they can go, which is to attach stimulus programs to the resolution. And this is how our government is set up to work, because when one side sees something important, clearly, whether or not you think this is an important resolution for the Postal Service, the Democrats believe it is. And if they believe it is, the way that you work together with another individual is something is important to them, then maybe there's something important to you, and you combine the two together. And the Republicans, the best thing that they can do is to combine that resolution with stimulus help to the American people, primarily the unemployment boost. And I hope if they do attach the unemployment boost, that they do it at the $600 number. That is a way to make your voice really heard, that you care about the American people. And if they put it at the $400 figure, then that's going to give a reason for the House Democrats to not vote for it. You don't want to give the House Democrats a reason not to vote for what you're attaching to the Postal Service resolution. If you put it at $400, that's an easy out for Nancy Pelosi to say, oh, we were going to pass it, but it was only $400. Make it $600 and attach the stimulus payments to the American people. And if you can, the liability, because they're going to want the liability and maybe small businesses. But you can't attach too much, because if you attach too much, then one side's going to be getting too much of what they want and the other side is not going to get what they want. So they got to be careful, pick and choose. But I think it would be a great idea for the Republicans to attach stimulus programs to this Postal Service resolution. And in that way, you have a compromise between both sides rather than the Republicans just voting no. In addition, the Postmaster General is going to be giving his statements about the situation on Monday. And by the way, the House of Representatives voting on a resolution before the Postmaster General gives his statements is a little weird. Almost always, the individual or the entity in question with a resolution that's going to be passed gives their statements before any of the bicameral legislative bodies, the Senate or the House, vote on anything, because in that way, they have all of the information they need to make sure that they put forth the best vote possible. But right now, the House of Representatives is voting before they're even listening to the Postmaster General, which in and of itself is a little strange. However, he's going to still be giving his statements on Monday, and the Senate still has to pass this legislation as well, which of course they won't, or they will add stimulus to it. I will keep you guys up to date on this. My only goal is to let you know what's happening with the stimulus stuff. I try to give you the best news I can. I know a lot of you, I see your comments, you just want to know, when is it going to happen? And I can't, there's no video I can give you that. It's just going to be sent to you, because unfortunately we're dealing with the leadership that we're dealing with. But I'm going to navigate it the best I can, tell you what's going on, give you the hopes for the future, what may occur in the Senate. Maybe they'll attach this, maybe they won't, maybe they'll say no. I don't really know. I'm just telling you what may happen and what is going on. I hope you guys enjoy this information. If you do and you want to continue to be kept up to date, consider subscribing to the channel. I will also be moving into covering, as I've been saying, the debates between President Donald Trump and Joe Biden. If that is something you don't want to sit there and watch the whole couple hours of that debate between the two of them, you just want the highlights, subscribe to the channel. I will tell you exactly what was going on in those debates. I'll give you maybe some preliminary information as well, what to look for from the two of them, and then some highlights as well. So a lot of work on my end, but for you, it's good because you get to just watch the video and sort of enjoy and see what each side was going on. And I'll try to give you the most unbiased I can. I do have my own opinions, but I'll try to give you the clear information that I can. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. As always, I will catch you guys next time.